I hope that this generation of artists, not just actors, take their cues from some really wonderful artists out there who are trying to do something. Lena Waithe, Kendrick Lamar. There's a lot of people out there who are, maybe not as successful, and not getting the financial resource support and exhibition and distribution support, but that are really invested in their craft and really invested in building their craft to influence and impact people. But to do that, you're going to have to search for great work, and that's a tough thing to go and search for now. But the great thing about studying is studying leads you into what you can discover about the craft. And MCs, similar to jazz musicians before them, a lot of great jazz musicians went to great bands, right? Went to great quartets, quintets, trios, and learned from these iconic, wonderful jazz performers. And MCs have done something similar. They've been a part of a crew, and one of the members of that crew is absolutely blowing up and wonderful, and they've learned from them and done a verse or done 4 bars or done a chorus on a track, and therefore found their own footing. So I'm hoping that in this next push from 2025 to 2035, that the investment in what you do and what that gives you, and I think that's the other thing, mediocrity takes away something from you. It takes away a drive and a dream, and it limits your creativity, it limits your imagination, it shrinks your choices as an artist, and definitely as an actor. Because when you try to just do well enough, you're not going for the depth of humanity that comes out of every story, whether well written or not. What's interesting now is if you look at a lot of commercials, there's some great acting going on in commercials. Farmer's Dogs commercials, man, they're making me cry. They're that personal. The acting seems to really land, and it's a very powerful thing when you see entertainment that moves you. And in a world that's been torn by 3 specific wars, much more poverty, much more sexism, much more xenophobia, much more of a dangerous, I think, mentality that is coursed through most of the world right now, which is to attack and work off aggression instead of civics. Understand that you have to beat people up to get your point across, and the nature of how authority has really consolidated its power. It's a very dangerous time. And if you're not moving people, if you're not saying something with your work, first of all, as an actor, you might not get to a consistent working level, number one. But as an artist, you're contributing to this kind of idea that we don't have to strive, that aspirations are more about what we can create and put on our phone than what it is that we want to believe in. And I think that's a very dangerous and scary place, because artists, we're supposed to be cultural therapists. That's our responsibility. And if we're putting out mediocre therapy, the nature of how our civilization starts to interact, what it starts to see, what it starts to create within themselves, can be very corruptible and can be very dangerous. So that's my first thing on mediocrity.